Shut up and sit down.
Hello folks, Colin here, Besta 67's Workshop, and welcome to issue 20 of Build the Batmobile from the classic 1966 TV series. Issue 20 from the wonderful folks over at Fanhome. Now, if you'd like to grab this, build along with me for yourselves, folks, click this link all the way along here. Pop. That will take you over to the Fanhome website, and you can take out a subscription for this wonderful 1/8 scale Batmobile. You will not be disappointed. Better luck next time, it says. Yes, Catwoman has discovered the location of pirate treasure and wants it all for herself. Oh, does she now? Yes, there you go. Yeah, determined to get everything for herself there. The plunder of a dozen galleons, it says. Blood sport there from the Batman, the Nightmare in Crimson. Oh dear, Batman became a vampire, folks. Oh my God, scary vampire Batman. Tangled web there, Batman is a vampire now. Yes, there you go. From the 1957 detective comic there, Batman's wearing a pink cape. Not quite sure why, but he is. There you go. New partner there, the Cape Crusader gained a new crime-fighting associate and Batman when Robin was seemingly supplanted by the high-flying Owlman. There you go. Some more info there, year by year. This is the Joker there, looking at his mugshot. Bless him. And in this phase, we're going to make significant progress, it says, in the assembly of the left suspension, with the upper and lower parts meeting. Yes, we got shock absorbers, springs, mounts, shafts, upper suspension arm, ball joints, etc. So we got pretty much the gubbins there to do one side of the movable front suspension. Here's all the bits and pieces we're going to be building today, fitting all the ball joints, etc. Assembling the upper suspension arm, where it goes on your Batmobile. All the different support brackets there to hold all of the components in place. Steering hub going on, so you're going to end up with a nice front corner all done and ready for the wheels to be mounted and things like that later on in the build series, but it just gives you that nice little corner. So yes, folks, that's what we're up to today. So we're going to need the chassis that we've been working on. I'll put that to one side. We'll open up the pack of parts that you've got this week. When we come back, this will all be on the bench. Get some assembly done. Right, let's grab our arm. And then we want 20H and 20G, folks. Okay. So we just want to sort them out. See which one's which. One's longer than the other and one's got a different depth hole, so let's just make sure we're getting the correct ones. G is long, H is short. Okay, so that's G, that's H. So H goes at the top there. So let's grab H, which is that one. And we want to secure that with WM screw, folks. So let's grab our screwdriver and a little bit of oil. And what screwdriver bit do you want there, Carl? Keep the small one on, mate. So let's grab one of those. Put a little bit of oil on the end. And then we'll get that assembled. I don't want to go too tight with this because these are movable suspension components, okay? And then just feed the screw through and it'll start biting where it needs to. There you go. So let's make sure that's going into the actual piece, which it is. There you go. Perfect. I'll just back that off a tad, just so that's got a little bit of looser play in it, okay? Mind you, it's got a bit of weight on it, hasn't it? So, yeah. Perfect. There you go. Slight resistance fit is good. That's what I'm saying. Next up, we got 20G going in. It goes just in there on the hub. Line the holes up. Like that. And then we can do the same there. Another WM screw on the end of the screwdriver. And we can put a bit of oil on there. Like that. And then do the same with that. Nice bit of oil in there. And then it will start working its way through. And then going into the other side there. So I'll just put my finger the other side just to give it a bit of support as I'm doing the screw up. Work the oil in. And then that will give me a resistance fit like so. Perfect. You then want to grab a 20C and a 20D, which is this, okay? And then we're going to be fitting that onto this bracket like so with a pair of CM screws, okay? Just in there like that. And you want to fit it so that the hexagonal parts are facing out, okay? So we just line that up, grab a pair of CM screws, which are down here. We're going into die cast, so a bit of oil, like that. And then feed it through the bracket itself first, and then it will feed into the part. So I'm going to do one end, and then that will start pulling the other end into place. There you go. Now we can tighten that up. Perfect. A little bit of oil on the end of there, and then we can do the same on that side. Sweet as. Okay. And then this is now going to go through and join like so. Okay. Now you want to look at it like a letter Y, and it's just going to come in that way. So you've got the wider angle to your left. Okay, that's what you want. And that's going in place with EM screws, which are these ones. Just there. Little bit of oil. Lubricate there, and I'm going to run some down the middle as well because we're going through a suspension arm, okay? And then we can now lay that down and start sending that through that bracket, just like that. I'm going to do it tight just for the minute whilst I put the other screw in, and then I shall back it off. The only reason I'm doing that, it'll stop it moving around when I'm feeding this screw through. Like that. And a little drop of oil just there, so that then lubricates this little area. Okay. So we can now go in and then back off. Back off, and then I'll work the thread like that. And that's now a resistance fit, like so. Okay. Beautiful, isn't it? So, work the oil in, resist, and then back off, quarter turn. Boom. Right, we are now going to be feeding the shock absorber coil spring between the front left arm and the front chassis, and then insert the rod through the centre of the spring, securing it with one AM screw at the top, folks. Right, so we need the big chassis section. So let's move these smaller parts just here, just so that we can give ourselves a bit of working space, because it's getting rather big. And this is what we want to bring in, folks, okay, from what we did before. So that's what it's telling us, okay? So we are going in here, we're putting the spring in, and we're going to be feeding the arm up through. So we want the spring up in there. So this is going to be fiddly for me because I'm trying to film for you, but we'll have a go. So we want to go up in there with that and try and bring it in that cut. So I'm just going to disconnect this little bracket just for a minute, this little steady arm, just so that I can pull that down and move that arm out of the way. Okay. Like that. Because I can then get to that spring a lot easier by shoving that up in there. I can then feed the arm up through there and then in like so, and then that will let me secure that then with the AM screw from above. So I was going to use me back tweezers just to nudge that arm in place. And can you see where it is? Just protruding from there. So you might find the way I did it works for you as well. Just unclip your steady bar that we fitted in the last issue, this piece. Just unclip it, fold the wishbone down, and then put it in. I can show you that again, which is fold this arm right down, and then feed that arm up through there. You want to turn it as well to make sure that your screw holes line up, okay? That's perfect. I can now fit that bracket back in place, actually. And that will stop that from popping out. So, let's get my AM screw. And screwdriver, AM screw. I'll put a bit of oil on it anyway. Just on there. And that's now going in there. So I'm just going to flick that out of the way. Stop that getting in the way of my hand. Like that. And drop that in on top of there. Perfect. We can now screw that right down. Right there. Okay. So that's what it's telling me. And then we want to spin it and put 2 AM screws up through the bottom there, just to keep this arm in place, okay? So compress your suspension, spin that round so that it then sits in its little rectangle notch. And then you want a pair of AM screws to go in there, folks. I'm going to grab those. Same process, a little bit of oil. And then we can feed that in them little holes just there. Perfect. And the last screw going in will retain that. Keep that nice and level and it will stop that from spinning at all. So I can lift that up now, take a bit of pressure off. And put that straight in. Boom. Just like that. There you go. I'm loving that already. Just wipe the oil off of there. Just check now that we've got enough of the height, which we have. And we can now fully tighten this back down now that we've got the bottom of the arm secure. Perfect. There you go. When you press that up, you'll see that cap now is fully hung. Beautiful. So that's that now under tension. What have we got left now? We have got this arm to go in. So let's just flip around that way, like so. We've then got this lower hub arm to come up through there. Thread that through. And that is going to be held in place with the other AM screw, folks, okay? So let's just bring that in place. Actually put a bit of oil on that, I think. Just be on the safe side because it's got paint on it, but it's a bit of a tight fit as well. So I'm just going to cheat. I'm going to apply a bit of oil to that, just so that I can work that in and keep that nice and lubricated. Because, yeah, there you go, look at that. What a difference that made. See? Now that is a top tip from Festa for you there. Give it a little bit of oil. There you go. Pop a bit on the end of that screw coat, like that. And then we can go in the top there of that post. Just in there, like that. Go fully home with a screwdriver. Loads of oil coming out, which is cool. And then we can work that again. Then the whole thing now moves beautifully. That's what we want. And then whilst we've got this, we might as well spin it that way round and lay in the upper arm, which is going to go across here. So first things first, I'm going to put a bit of oil in here and around there, so that when I secure that, it's going to move. There you go. We can now pop that on there and then spin that around just like so. And that is held in place with a pair of CM screws, which are these two bad boys. A little bit of lubricant. Pop on there. And we can send that in that hole just there. And then put that one in there, like so. Perfect. Like that. And then we can tighten that all down there. Beautiful. And that is looking rather rosy. So we'll have that in there. And then we've got one AM screw just to go on the top of this arm. Just to retain that in place as well. So we'll put a drop of oil on there. And we're going just on the tip of there, folks, okay? Come off quarter of a turn, and then check that, and then start working that oil in there. Beautifully, beautifully done. There you go. And that is this stage done, folks. So that was stage 20 of the Batmobile, and that has given us this nice quarter suspension system going on there with up and down movement. And it is rather tight at this stage. Don't forget, you've got the weight of the vehicle on this. So it will try to compress, but look at that. It's got a bit of movement, which is what you want. And yeah, it's looking rather sexy, isn't it? So folks, if you're happy with that, head over to this link here. That will take you to the Fanhome website. Take out a subscription. Get your very own Batmobile on order, folks, and you too can be building along with me. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I'm certainly not. In the next issue, I'm sure we'll be buttoning down the other side of the suspension there, so keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, to help me out, just click the little Festa in the corner there. Unsubscribe to my YouTube channel. It really helps me grow. Helps the channel grow. And also don't forget as well, ring the bell. That will let you know of any future content that becomes available, folks. Okay? Until then, stay safe and well. I look forward to seeing you on the next issue. Bye-bye for now. That's